Moving on to the labor system in Saudi Arabia and the GCC countries. Like previously mentioned, expats make up basically 90% of the workforce in the private sector in Saudi Arabia. Of course, like I said previously, it's the other way around in the government sector. Unemployment figures officially in Saudi Arabia are 11%. Officially, estimates range as high as 25%. Um, Unemployment basically only numbers men. All the women who maybe want to work but can't work are not really counted properly. Right. So I don't really believe that figure at 11%. To combat this, all countries in the GCC have a nationalization program. In Saudi, we call it Saudification. Basically means getting Saudis to do jobs which now are being filled by expats, and they have similar Qatarizations, Emiratization programs as well. Again, I live in Saudi Arabia, so I'll focus on Saudi Arabia because this is what I know the most about. I'm going to talk about a program called the Nitakat, which is the most ambitious labor program launched by the Saudi government. They have had Saudification programs previously, which really haven't worked. The plan of the the Nitakat program is to divide all business into three categories: green, yellow, and red. Depending on which sector you're in and how many Saudi employees you have, you will be in one of these color categories. If you're in green, you're in the good category, meaning you'll get incentives, government contract. If you're in the other end of the scale, in the red, you will have a grace period, but after that, you'll not be allowed to renew your work visas. So, if you're in the red category, you're in a lot of hurry to hire Saudis these days. This program is very new. It was rolled out recently, so I'm not going to talk about the effects of it yet because it's not clear. Some people are talking about it'll be a negative effect on the economy. Expats with skills will go home. Other people are saying it's completely necessary to change to change the current work division in Saudi Arabia. The good thing of this program is that it's not a strict percentage on all sectors. It's not, for instance, say you have to have 50% Saudis not to end in the red sector. Period, because that would never work. It's different numbers for different sectors. For instance, in the construction sector, you only need 10%. In the financial sector, you need 40%. This is to sort of accommodate the reality. If you look at any building site here in Saudi Arabia, you will not find any Saudis unless they're maybe the foreman. There will be Bangladeshis, Pakistanis, basically all over in East Asia or the rest of Asia. And I don't think you'll ever find a Saudi who is willing to do that kind of work. They're basically grown up in a system where Saudis don't do it, and they're too proud, really, to do manual labor like that. Yeah, just to recap there, I said that the green companies will have incentives. Yellow companies will not be able to extend their foreign employee work visas beyond 6 years, which takes effect retroactively. And like I said, red companies will not be allowed to renew their foreign worker visa, period. According to the Labor Ministry, roughly 20% of companies are in the red sector. This has now recently, of course, this has increased Saudi hiring. A lot of companies are out there hiring Saudis not to end up in the red category. There are two different ways of looking at this. You have the ones who say this is great, Saudis are getting jobs which they should have. And the other view, the more cynical view, is that people are saying they're just hiring Saudis just to get up the stats, just to get out of that red category, and it really is not going to change anything. Personally, I believe there will be there'll be some growing pains here. This will be hard to implement, but it has to be done because the current system has been there now for quite a long while. It's not sustainable. We need to have more Saudis in the workforce. Another big problem, just beyond getting jobs, is the enormous sums lost from remittance in Saudi Arabia. There are 9 million foreign workers, or roughly 8 to 9 million foreign workers here. And of course, they send a lot of money back home to their families and so on. In the second quarter of 2011, roughly 7.1 billion US dollars was sent out of the country this way, according to the central bank. I'm not completely sure if that number is accurate. I mean, a lot of these people prefer to bring money back traveling in cash, so I'm not sure if that might be a low figure. Anyhow, it's still equivalent to 17% of Saudi Arabia's current account surplus, and that is in a time with historically very high oil revenues. Talked previously about tourism. You look at those two together. Saudis going out, spending money abroad, people sending remittance home. That's a lot of capital leaving this country. It could have been used domestically to develop the country. And with that, I conclude this section. Thank you for listening, and please follow us in section 8, the banking, finance, and healthcare sector.